after you have finished running some tests using either the code or script-based database initialization, it's now time to think of how we can prepare the production script and how we can maintain it as we go along with the development. I've known and experienced two tools that we can leverage to help us in evolving our database, namely Flyway and Liquibase. But personally, I prefer Liquibase. The reason is that Liquibase is more portable versus Flyway when dealing with multiple database types. Flyway is much more effective when you are locked down on a single database, as you can issue native database specific SQL statements. Before we proceed, we must download and install the Postgresql database first. Now, to enable PostgreSQL in our project, add PostgreSQL and Liquibase core dependencies while commenting the H2 database. Open application.properties file. Set the data source connection properties in this file. So we're using a Terra Warehouse database and carry as username and password. Now our DDL-auto configuration equals to validate. Why Postgres? Because H2 is an in-memory database that wipes out the schema and data after each restart. Therefore, we will not be able to demonstrate how Liquibase handles the database versioning and updates. How do we run Liquibase to create our database schema? Before that, we need to define a plugin under the plugin management in a pom.xml file. It lets us control Liquibase using Maven. We intentionally use variables in this plugin so that we can change the connection depending on the profile. For example, we can have development, staging, and production. Which we can see here. Notice that we have a different value for Liquibase that changelog file property in our profiles. That is because we normally execute two database operations using Liquibase, and that is either to rebuild or update the database. In the development profile, we are in update mode. In rebuild profile, we are rebuilding our database. Rebuild means it will delete all the tables in our database, so take note of that. To run Liquibase, we need to define a Maven build. In Eclipse, it can be done via run, debug, or run configurations. Select Maven build and create a new profile. In update mode, we're setting the goals equals Liquibase, colon update. Profiles is development. In rebuild mode, goals is Liquibase drop all, Liquibase update, meaning it will drop first our database schema and then it will rebuild using the rebuild and update statements. For more Liquibase Maven commands, you can check their website. I'll paste the URL in this video. how does the change logs look like? So this is the root rebuild changelog. It includes files which contain both the actual rebuild and data change sets. So here is the actual schema.xml file, and this is the data. These are how they were defined. So now let us run Liquibase rebuild. Liquibase rebuild. If we look in the console log, we will notice that it executes each of the change set that we defined. So there's an ID. So if there is an error, we can debug it here. Now let's open pgadmin. This is a tool used GUI tool in managing a PostgreSQL database. Now let's select asterisk from category. And we have 5 records. And as you can see, we have successfully created all the tables from the schema.xml file. And then in the data.xml, we have 5, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 categories. Now, what if we have some changes in our schema? For example, we want to add a new category. Then we need to update the data.xml file. In the current folder, don't forget that. In the current folder, as the name implies, schema.xml contains the schema definition statements, while data.xml contains the insert and update of data statements. Now let us run the Liquibase update. As you can see, it only executes one change set, which is from this file. Now again, let's try to execute the select asterisk from category SQL statement in pgadmin. And we have one more category added as expected. This is how Liquibase works. With this, we can version our database. Normally, we update the current change sets for version X. And then when we tag version X, we move all the change sets to rebuild and empty the current so that it is ready for update for the next version. I hope you understand Liquibase, how you can use it to version your database. If you have any question, feel free to drop a comment and I'll gladly reply. Thank you. Bye-bye.